بشرى لأرض نزلتم في نواحيها كأنكم ماطر أحيا سواقيها ترنو لكم كل ما لح المصيف لها حبا لنور الهدى والشوق حاديها بشرى لأرض نزلتم في نواحيها بشرى بشرى بشرى
والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press. The convergence of several Muslim women groups in Abuja who come together to collaborate and strategize in a bid to promote and propagate issues of concern that affect the private and public life of women, especially Muslim women. This is just one of our programs. The coalition was formed last year to plan and host the first World Hijab Day in Nigeria. The hijab of Muslim women covering has attracted considerate attention, positive and negative, worldwide in the last 2 or 3 years. The current worldwide opposition to the hijab was marked off by President Nicolas of France, who, in a bid to show up his image, sought to please the anti-immigration treasure group of the extreme right by clamping down on French Muslim women's assertion of the hijab. The French and other world media followed suit gladly. February 1st of every year is World Hijab Day. It is a day set aside to create awareness of the Muslim woman's dress, what it means and what it represents. The Muslim and non-Muslim community is invited to wear hijab for a day in support of freedom of choice of dressing and discourage discrimination against women wearing hijab. An initiative of Nazima Khan, World Hijab Day was first marked in 2013 in more than 50 countries across the world, Nigeria inclusive. The two main discourses on hijab in 2014 Nigeria were firstly the banning of Muslim girls in public schools to wear hijab in some states and the students' institution of a court case which ruled that they were not entitled to that right. A lot of public outcry for and against ensued. The second was the introduction of a new dimension to the terrorist attack, which adopted the use of female clad in hijab as suicide bombers in Kano, Gombe, Maiduguri, Yobe, etc. The coalition of Muslim women groups in Abuja aims to create awareness of this year's event, provide correct information on hijab and its status among Muslims, and invite you to work with us in saying no to the negative tag placed on hijab and its wearers. The choice of the theme for this year's World Hijab Day, Hijab, my God-given right, my symbol for good, not evil, is a systematic conscious effort to correct the misconceptions of hijab as first a privilege that may or may not be given, and secondly, its depiction as a cover for violence or evil. The following facts are realities, and realities are worthy of note. First, Islam means complete submission to the will of the Almighty Allah in thought and action. So when the Almighty directed the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Quran, as such, the verse which says, "O Prophet, enjoin your wives and your daughters and the believing women to draw a part of their outer covering around them. It is likelier that they will be recognized and not molested." It is a direct command of Almighty Allah to all Muslim women. It is not a matter of choice here for any woman who calls herself a Muslim. In this case, she has the free will to do what is right by obeying a direct command from her Creator Allah, or do what she wants by uncovering herself and displaying her outward beauty. However, her free choice is to go against a direct commandment from her Creator does not deny the free choice of the one who chooses to adhere to the command. The message is that the hijab is a fundamental aspect of obedience to the Creator in Islam. It is a fundamental right of Muslim women. It is not a privilege to be given to her through the discretion of governments, institutions, organizations, or persons. Secondly, Islam has introduced hijab as part of the decency and modesty in interaction between members of the opposite sex. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, this is more appropriate so that they may be known, that is as Muslim women, and thus not be harassed or molested. The hijab is a protection for women and society in general against all kinds of indecency and harm. It compels men to focus on the real personality of the woman and de-emphasizes her physical beauty. It puts the woman in control of strangers' reaction to her. It has never been and will never be a protection for perpetrating violence or any kind of evil as is being portrayed by enemies of humanity and violators of any sense of decency who rejoice in destroying lives and livelihoods. Instead, they are transgressors. The negative attention and undue hardship and stigmatization directed at Muslim women and girls wearing the hijab are things that all well-meaning members of the human race should stand up against. By promoting and publicizing the World Hijab Day, our objective is to draw the attention of all our fellow citizens, Muslims and people of other faiths, to clearly understand the underlying principles behind the hijab and truly appreciate its significance and position in a Muslim woman's adolescent girl's public life. The wearing of hijab is an obligatory act enjoined by our Creator, whom we have sworn to serve unconditionally and fully by testifying that there is no God but Allah, Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our wearing of hijab in whatever form is like our prayer and our fasting. They are inseparable. The obligation to do so is from our Creator. The privilege to do so is a Muslim's, and the right to do so is not given. The choice is completely ours and no creation of men to oppress women. The belief by governments, institutions, and persons of their prerogative in allowing its use or not is indeed a mistaken belief. The reality of hijab wearing women in present-day Nigeria is a growing concern to this coalition. Students, Muslim female youth corps members, applicants for national and international documents, and female employees in the corporate world and the security services face unnecessary hardship in respect of their right to hijab, to wear the hijab. While some are denied this right outright, others are constantly forced to compromise its principles. As we speak, schoolgirls in Lagos State public schools are at risk of losing this right to freedom of dressing in a country which prides itself with religious tolerance. We appeal to you to understand the need by Muslim women. This obligation and this form of service to our Creator Allah, and not view it with suspicion, disdain or apprehension. The hijab is an apparel of honor, a garment of modesty, and a shield against immorality. It is our pride, it is our dignity. We cover nothing except our dignity and honor. Help us to advocate it, please. We invite you to partner with us as we come out on February 1st to mark the World Hijab Day at the National Mosque, Abuja, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. A lecture titled Hijab, its position in Islam, issues surrounding its use and abuse in Nigeria. The wife of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Hajja Amina Namadi Sambo, and other important dignitaries are expected to grace the event, inshallah. I wish to end this brief at this juncture. I pray for a successful event and solicit for maximum support and cooperation from my distinguished audience. Thank you very much for listening.
Because it tends to express the God-given right that we have to protect us, and also free the woman today of social ills that surround the woman, as we all know today. Having the hijab and using it covers the woman and hides her identity as a woman, and tends to bring her out as when it comes to equating herself with the man. You know, the hijab covers that feminist aspect of her and brings out the intellect in her and allows her to be as free as she can be in every aspect of the world's endeavors.
My name is Ummi Abdusalam Abbas. It's a law. Allah commands us to wear hijab, which we definitely have to put it on. It's not been really easy. We'll be having problems from my family, friends, my kids, and so on. But when you know that you are doing something for Allah's sake, you just keep steadfast. I was not born with the hijab. I read my Quran, and I found out that this is the best dressing mode for a Muslimat. My advice to sisters is that they can do it. They can do it. And inshallah, Allah will make it easy for them. You are respected. You are respected. When you put on your hijab, when you go to the market, let me give you an instance. When you go to the market, Igbo people, usually they tap people when they want to communicate. But when you are putting on hijab, they only come, Hajia, excuse me, I have so stock, you can come and check. So you are respected outside there. Thank you very much. Alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Issue of hijab, we all know that it is an obligation for every Muslim woman. It's supposed to serve as a protection from molestation. It is a sign of your iman. It is a sign of modesty. And the society we are living in now, there are a lot of distractions, and we all know even the media has a role to play in this. When we do a lot of advertisements displaying women's nakedness, displaying the catwalk, displaying fashion, that is what is making people to feel that the hijab, probably anybody using the hijab is not social, is not moving with time, and so on. But any true believing Muslim woman who believes in Allah, who believes in the last day, who knows that she's accountable to Allah, who knows that if she dresses decently, she's protecting herself, should be able to stand up and use her hijab with pride. So for me, it is actually not an issue. People have to go into their hearts and do what they believe in, regardless of what they see in magazines, regardless of what they see on TV.